Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. And what a beautiful sunrise at my new moon base location. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful here. I couldn't have picked a better spot. I can see the Mars-like planet. I can see Earth. It's just, everything is just beautiful. I figured out what was wrong with my shield. It just turns out I needed to save and load the game, and that was it. Literally, that was it. Save and load. And there's a little bit of debris here. Yeah, something overnight while I was just letting the game run until we got to sunrise. Something tried to fly over the base, and let's just say this shredded it. Just absolutely shredded it. It was delicious. So, the plan is to set up a great big base in this flat area here. And it isn't going to be a normal base, where I'm just going to build it on the surface. My plan is I'm just going to fly a little ways away from the dropship here, just so we can get an idea. I think the dropship's relatively in the center. What I'd like to do is sort of where the dropship is, if not, yeah, kind of exactly where the dropship is, because it's right in the center of this. If not, just a tiny bit sort of south, a little bit down from where the dropship is I'm going to put up a tower. And then in that tower, it's going to have a shield emitter and a nanite control and a whole bunch of rotor turrets on it and such. And from that tower, I am then going to build outwards. So probably this is like right around the center of the thing. Yeah. Let's see. Gravity aligned placement. And let's put it down. This will be the first block in our new thing. Boom. Okay, so that's going to be the exact center of our base. And now from here, we're going to go like 100 or 150 blocks in every direction. And the idea is, I am eventually going to dig out all of this dirt here. All of it. And the base is going to look like, if you imagine from the Matrix movies, they had the human base of Zion. And of course, that was underground. I understand that. But imagine how that base looked if you removed the top of it so that it was on the surface. Where you had a central tower that had all of their control systems and turrets on it and stuff like that. And then going around it were these pathways going out. And then between those pathways, going on the four sort of cardinal directions, it was drilled down into the ground, and there was all sorts of machinery down there and different docking ports and stuff like that. So that's essentially what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up this central tower. I'm going to put one of my rotor drill rigs on it, and I'm going to have it drill out essentially the entire area here that's like 100 blocks in every direction, and drill it all the way down, take all that material in, process it, and we'll have a whole bunch of stone, a whole bunch of material to work with. And then I'll line the bottom of it with industry, just huge quantities of refineries and assemblers and cargo containers, everything I could possibly need and think of. And then in between each of the sort of cardinal directions of like going out this way sort of thing, this will be one platform that way, there'll be one thing that way sort of thing. In between each of these, there will be a spot where I can land a ship that is going to be either equal or larger than the dropship. So this is going to be a very big build, to say the least. But I think it's going to be fun. Because essentially what I want this base to be is my, like, all of the industry I'm ever going to need for the rest of whatever I do in this playthrough. And I want to get it to the point where I have so much stuff that ships the size of, say, this dropship here, which is now on the workshop. I updated all of the descriptions of every one of my videos. There is now a link to my workshop for space engineers where you can get all the things I've uploaded. I have my rover hauler, which I nicknamed the Rhino, and there's this thing, which is the Leopard Dropship Mark 1. And this is Mark 1 because I will be updating this in the future and improving upon it. So when I get more stuff on it, I will take it and make it a Mark 2. I want to make a drone carrier version. I want to make a pure transport version that maybe doesn't have the cargo bay, that like doesn't have the hangar bay. It makes it just pure cargo, you know, that kind of stuff. I want to modify these and make basically multiple versions of the Leopard that I can use for different things. But the idea is that this is going to be the ultimate end-all be-all base that's going to have everything we need. It's going to have the central tower, which will have rotor turrets and shield generators and the nanites on it, and then exterior walls with turrets and possibly even drone aircraft and drone tanks and all sorts of awesome things. So we need to get things started here. First thing will be to lay out the size of it. And if you remember, we have to make this good enough for a nanite to fit in. So, and we also don't want to make it cramped. So we can make this quite large. Nanite is a 3x3. So, and also they've got the upgrades on the connections and all that stuff all the way around it. So what we probably want to do is make this, say, a 6x6 or so block. So there's the 3, then another 1 out like this. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 more this way, sort of thing. And just make this a nice square. And I think this will do me wonderfully. Yeah, out to there. As a start of a base. So I'm going to get the beginnings of this base laid out, and then I'll come back and once I've gotten the idea of it down. So I think that this is going to be the start of the base, as we're going to have a nice big platform in the center. I'm not exactly sure how big it's going to be, and then for each cardinal direction there's going to be a 5 wide platform going out, and then underneath all of this eventually I'm going to mine it all out so that it's going to be a giant pit that this thing is sort of dangling over, and the central tower will have the nanite facility in the center of it, which tubes going down, and then it'll be going down into the ground into the various refineries and assemblers down there, feeding the nanite machine, and then space right here in all these corners for upgrades. And then I will eventually put glass on this so that you can't even get into the nanite facility once it is fully upgraded and it's nice and safe. Beyond that, there was also going to be sort of like another layer on this going up, as this is just sort of like the central core of this center tower. And then up here is going to be there's going to be like a military deck where there's going to be all sorts of like status controls, little LCD panels of all the different like the statuses of everything on the base, all the turrets, if they're active or not. And then there's going to be even a further up observation deck that is just going to be pure glass, so I can look over the entirety of the base up here. But that is going to be the core. But now, of course, this is going to take me so many episodes to make. The nanites are going to help this, but it's going to take a long time. So what I need to do is temporarily set up some power generation. And what better power generation than solar here? As we have the sun beating down on us, it just makes sense to get some solar power generation going. So we're going to set up temporarily a solar tower. And I think would be a good idea is to just set it up right on top here, as it then won't get in our way if we decide to start doing our rotor mining, which I should make sure we have things in position for that. So if this is going to be here, and I can connect things to, we're going to need to pipe things up to the top eventually. So, just thinking about how we want to pipe things. I kind of want to make it so that all of my structures on this is going to have actually a wall with a gap in between that will then contain a bunch of pipes and stuff like that. So we can figure out the piping in the future. What we need to do is make sure that we have a space. Oh, geez. Oh, that's so cool. Something is passing in front of the sun. A ship is passing in front of the sun and casting a shadow on my base. Or is that a ship or is that an asteroid? Oh, I think that's an asteroid. That is going to be a really cool thing because that's going to happen every single time at this base. I'm going to have this shadow pass across it as these asteroids are there. Oh, that is awesome. Okay. Right. I got sidetracked. We need to get ready for this grinding out of stuff, which is going to be... I can't think about it right now. We just need to set up a solar tower. We'll worry about the mining out of stuff in the future, as that is too much for me to think about at this moment. Let's get a normal rotor, as we don't need advanced rotors for this. That would be only if we're trying to transport materials. And just thinking about how big solar panels are. If we have that rotor, then a panel, then another rotor like this, and then a block, then the panel on it. Can I get another panel on the end of this one if I set this far enough away from the platform? I think this is far enough up that I could get another panel on the back of this. It doesn't seem to want to link up though. It went green there for a second. No, that's the wrong button. Come on. There you go. Ooh, that is like super duper close. I mean, it would work, but I should make this maybe a 1 or 2 blocks higher. And then I can make a monstrous solar tower. So 1 or 2, and then that's good for that. And then maybe another, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this should be enough to just put a massive solar tower on here. So we can get all sorts of power, get some batteries on this temporarily, and get some excellent amounts of power saved up so that we will be all ready for that in the future. Okay, so first thing I need is a programmable block, a battery, and stuff for my rotors. Also, because I'm in space now, it's freaking using up so much of my power because it's the freezing temperatures of being on the moon, which is super annoying. But, oh well. Let's deposit everything we have here. Let's grab things we need for a couple of rotors. And we need a programmable block. And we also need rotor parts. So, a couple of rotor parts, a programmable block, a solar cell. Yeah, I do have enough for a panel already. Nice. And I'll have to come back for a battery because I don't think I have enough to carry the power cells at this current moment. So get this welded. And oh, I don't know if I had enough steel plates for that at the moment. Oh well, I'll go back and get some more. And get this solar cell functioning. So it's giving the base a little bit of power. And then easy peasy, we can slap down this programmable block in a temporary location here. Yeah, it needs a few steel plates, but that's fine. It needs to go and go browse scripts and go for Izzy's solar alignment. Copy to the editor. Okay. And then we go to our rotors here, and we make a group called Solar Rotors. And we save it up, and that should pretty much be it, except this is probably not making enough power to get this thing functional. So we need to go get stuff we need for a battery now. We'll grab what we need for a battery. Not enough space needs... Okay, we're going to have to make 2 trips here. And we'll just slap down a temporary battery just so that we can get the base up and functional. And then eventually, when we get the base functional and we get things, the positions for our industry figured out, I'll just grab what I need for a bunch of blocks. We can go and like create an actual power room and huge battery bank. But for now, just get the battery functional. We should turn on our programmable block and should start moving our stuff here. As, yep, it has found 1 panel, and it is saying it is aligned, which you need to do a little bit of movement there. But I am going to start to place more panels here and align them a bit better, because I like them having the there's like a thin bit and a thick bit. Like this is the thin end of it, and that's the thick end where it shows the how much power it's actually getting. I like having the thick end close to the thing like this. It's just, I don't know, I'm weird. Ignore my weirdness. And so I will get a few more panels on here and queue up some more production in the dropship. And let's get some solar power going. And while I'm taking a break here from building, this thing is going to be absolutely massive when I'm done with it. Like, each arm of this should be more than, like, because I'm eventually going to make this, like, say, 3 or 4 or 5 out from the thing. So each arm should be more than my entire base back on Earth in terms of power generation. But we're going to continue with that. But I just remembered and realized that I do have some platinum a little bit right now. And I can, if I want to, upgrade my tools here. We'll just top off my power and oxygen and hydrogen again, because I can. And if we can go into here and go into production, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is being produced. Extra solar panels. However, we can cut these bullets for now. Let's just cut all this stuff for now. We don't need any of this. We'll build some more solar panels here in a bit. Oh my god, so much stuff there. We can produce top-end tools. So an elite grinder, an elite hand drill, a elite. Perfect. And then we don't need these proficient ones anymore. We can get rid of it. Oh, that's good. This is going to be exciting. I'm going to put these character tools, get them on my... Can I not put them on my bar right away? Huh, that's too bad. But inventory for the assembler. There's an elite grinder. So I'll be able to grind things even faster and weld things even faster. Elite drill. And the elite welder, and we don't really need the gun at this moment. It says it needs to get its platinum, but it should have its platinum. It has platinum, it just needs to make it. Oh, there we go. Excellent. So we'll go that, and we'll just keep the drill on us in case we need it. Although, more than likely, we don't. And the elite gun. Character weapons. Bam! So we have a better gun. Yeah! And we can weld faster, and I'll queue up some more solar panels, which should be, yeah, 10 solar panels. Let's queue up 20 solar panels, and let's grab stuff for as many solar panels as I can, and just a few armored blocks, and get back to welding up the major super tower. As, oh, thankfully, it's in a position where I can not use my my gas. I can just rest on it. And we can see, oh my god, how fast that welds. Oh, that makes life so much easier doing this manual welding. Alright. Just say another 6 or more of the panels to put into place, and then we can start doing the next thing, which I think will be trying to get this nanite facility back online, which I'll have to build up, and then we're going to have to connect the dropship to the nanite facility somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but it's what we need to do, because we need to transfer, or at least maybe not transfer, but give the nanite facility here, when I eventually build it, access to all of the materials that the dropship brought with it, so that it can start building things and use all of its wonderful nanite abilities to build up the base, as I certainly don't want to be building the base by hand. Alright. So this will do okay for now. Let's go take a look at our programmable block and see how we're doing for power. We're getting 3.8 megawatts right now, and we're going to be fully charged this battery in just 30 minutes. So I think that that is even just like a basic strip of solar cells. If I put this out, say 5 wide on each side, I would have, what is that? That's, 5 times 6 on each side, so it'd be like 30 panels times 2, so 60 panels up there. Yeah, that would create a fair amount of power. So I will eventually extract that out to there, but most likely I want the nanite to be doing that building. So now the very long and arduous process of flying back and forth between the base and transferring all the materials for the nanite facility, which is going to take me forever. I know I have all the materials, but it's just the aspect of maneuvering them around, flying back and forth. Oh my god, thank God for easy inventory, though. If I didn't have easy inventory to be able to get these materials as I did my little flights back and forth, if I had to actually count out the materials and transfer these all manually, it would be just horrid, absolutely horrid amounts of trips. And the amount of time each trip would take, like having to open the inventory and count it, or I could just right click and grab the next set of materials. But I will get these transferred, and I'll get this thing built, and then we will come back with how we're going to connect the dropship to the base temporarily. And she is all welded up and ready to rock, although I'm not sure if this battery is going to be enjoying this. Doesn't seem to be putting out a lot of kilowatts for this, and that's okay. I don't want this thing to be active right now, because this nanite control facility, I definitely don't have the power for it yet. I need to fully expand this the solar array and probably put in a little temporary battery bank somewhere on here until I can turn this on. But the next thing is to get this plugged into the ship. So eventually this will be a curved conveyor down, and that'll look cool. But in the meantime, we can get this thing off of here because it's all built. We need to build a conveyor tube that we can plug into with the ship. And I think the easiest way to do that would be to probably, say, remove one of the turrets. Like if I could remove this turret here, and I could inch this section closer and basically set it so that it's parked right here, so that, because behind this turret is a conveyor. Alternatively, I wonder if there's a conveyor spot just below here. Oh, I could access the conveyor that way as well. That way I wouldn't have to take off a turret. And then I can access a conveyor by putting out a pipe, like so. And, alright, I can't put anything in the way of this turret. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll put that block of armor back. So yeah, I'll take off this turret. I'll have a connection there that I can then put like a connector. And I'll have to just ever so gently maneuver the dropship into position and then build out a spot that this thing can connect to. This is going to be interesting. So let's first off, let's take this thing's ammo and distribute it, or at least get it out of here, as it doesn't need the ammo at this current moment. Man, there's so full of ammo. Everywhere is. We'll get rid of its ammo, and we'll grind this turret down. And we'll get a connector. Slap the beginning of a connector on there. And now, let's build out a little bit of a tube. Let's go out one so we can get around the walls here. And I need more interior plates. We'll grab what we need for a lot of these things. That's queuing production. There we go. Grab whatever we need for a bunch of them. So I'm guessing it's going to be maybe... Let's see. How tall off the ground would this be? Oh, did I drop some ammo?
Inventory full.
Oh, I certainly did. I should, I don't want to lose that ammo. Let's get it here. Because the thing probably, like, automatically redistributed ammo back to it the moment I took it out. Okay, good. It was just a little bit. And then file. Free placement. There we go. And right. So this is going to be approximately, say, one... Wait, why did that explode? Oh, does it have to... I think it might be do something to my shield. Here, let me just put my shields down. Shields down. That's gotta be why. I don't see any other reason why. Yep, that'll be it. So it's about, say, 4 high. That's where I'll be locking into. Okay. So 4th height. There we go. We can set that to there, and then we can build a tube straight out. And then put a connector on this, which I need steel plates for. Just give me a single steel plate. That's all I need to be able to place this. And then I should be able to connect all this stuff up once I get it all built. I'll be right back when I'm attempting that. And now for the delicate procedure of docking this up. And I'm not sure if having the shield on has any issues here. It didn't have any issues when I was doing it with my small ship, so I think this should be fine. We'll see if it causes any damage to the docking port as I try to inch my way towards it here. As you never know when things are going to attack you in this world. There's all these observation posts and stuff, all within like 5 kilometers from me. So I don't think that this base will be a peaceful one over the time, as I believe it will be attacked, and it will be good. Let's see here. We're just about lined up that way. Okay, good. It's grabbed it. So now I'm going to go back to my landing gear, and I had taken them off auto lock when I was hovering here. And I'm going to try to lower myself down and twist myself to the right a little bit. until I can get one of my right side landing gear to lock on. Because I'd like a landing gear on. There. Landing gear is locked. And if I go to my connectors, should be connector 3 because that's the newest one, and lock up, I now have control of the entire thing. The base is mine. We have our shield on. This thing will provide covering fire for the base, although the solar tower may take damage. But we have a lot more access to power now because we have the batteries on the ship, and so they'll run things for a while. Super gremlin. Oof, coming in. But this is great. We have access to everything. And this guy should, yep, he has access to everything here, and we could pull over materials if needed. Excellent. I can deposit materials here, and I can access this for materials as well. Ah, yes. Okay, so now we're kicking. The next thing to do, of course, would be to get these thrusters off because I don't need them wasting hydrogen. Get all those, turn those hydrogen thrusters off, and I guess we need to just continue building this. All right, let's just plan. Let's just think about how big I want to make this thing, because I'm thinking a 5 wide thing, and if I am going to be having multiple ships the size of this thing docked, oh, and I can take this off. I don't need that anymore right now. How big should I make this? Probably at least this thing's length times 2, because I want to be able to comfortably park them. So if this thing was, I think it was like 20 or 30 long. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's got a little bit of damage. Oh, well, the factory will clean that up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's about like 25 blocks-ish. So let's try just going out first, say 50-ish blocks. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Oh my god. The same in the other directions as well. Ooh, this is going to be huge. I am super excited about how big this base is going to be. But yeah, that's the idea. We will have that in every direction, or at least, actually, you know, we're going to do it. We're going to go with a full 100. We're going to have 100 blocks in every direction. And so we can fit multiple ships the size of this, and then I want to make a ship that's like 3 or 4 times as long as this, and make it like some sort of like super dropship, super carrier. And then we're going to make a great big border. Oh, it's going to be it's going to be beautiful. It's going to take me so long to get it done, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful. But we still have a little bit of daytime here, so yeah, I could get some more stuff done. But I think for now that could be a good episode, as we got a fair amount of stuff set up. We've got our nanites back in action on this moon. We just need to actually turn them on and let them go, as we probably have enough power here. If we go to nanite control facility and we flip this bad boy on, it's just immediately welding everything else around it. It just immediately welded that. That's interesting. Before even the nanites came out, it just acts as a welder, a very expensive welder, but a welder. And now that is starting to set up everything. Which also, because I built the nanite thing, and I hadn't done that since I had had for some reason when I built it before, it didn't click in the progression. I don't think the thing was updated then. we can get the, we want the power reduction upgrades, and we can get those back on here, as those would be very, very important to get. And I do realize now that the center ones are not upgrade ports, so I won't be able to get those upgrades on. But Nane facility, do your own power first, because this thing is going to eat my electricity. Fully depleted in an hour. And these guys, although I do have a fair amount of power in the base, or in the dropship that I'll be able to steal from, I can also go to those hydrogen generators, hydrogen engines, and I could start them up. I want to test something. If I turn off all my H2O2s, and I have my hydrogen engines, and I start it up, it's going to be taking from my tank, eh? Yeah, so I can just run these to just use what fuel's in my tank for now, which will give me some power without having to worry about my current ice, because I can always just refill this tank later. So that's kind of fun. I'll get some more power coming in here, and that makes it so that things aren't depleting as quickly. And this thing will start going crazy building my base. But yeah, I'm excited. We've got our thing upgraded here. We've got all of that ready. All we have to do now is get a whole bunch more solar so we can get some more power generation, get a whole bunch of other stuff set up, and just keep on building this thing up and making it better and better. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting.